Hello YouTube. In part 7 of Don't Vote for the Douche or the Turd, I gave Obama excuses number 10 through 7 for voting against the Born Alive Infants Protection Act, which would have protected babies born after failed abortion attempts, and rebutted them, including a portion of a testimony from nurse Jill Stanek, who witnessed what is called a live birth abortion, where the mother is given labor-inducing drugs and the baby is murdered after it is born. I will now continue where I left off with Stanek's testimony in Part 8 of Don't Vote for the Douche, or the Turd. Other co-workers have told me many upsetting stories about live aborted babies whom they've cared for. I was told about an aborted baby who was supposed to have spinal bifida, but was delivered with an intact spine. Another nurse is haunted by the memory of an aborted baby who came out weighing much more than expected, almost 2 pounds. She's haunted because she didn't know she made a mistake by not getting that baby medical help. The support associate told me about a live aborted baby who was left to die on the counter of the sealed utility room wrapped in a disposable towel. This baby was accidentally thrown into the garbage, and when they later were going through the trash to find the baby fell out of the towel and onto the floor. I was recently told about a situation by a nurse who said, "I can't stop thinking about it." She had a patient who was 23+ weeks pregnant, and it did not look as if her baby would be able to continue to live inside of her. The baby was healthy and had a 39% chance of survival, according to national statistics, but the patient chose to abort. The baby was born alive. If the mother had wanted everything done for her baby, there would have been a neonatologist, pediatric resident, neonatal nurse, and respiratory therapist present for the delivery, and the baby would have been taken to the neonatal care intensive care unit for specialized care. Instead, the only personnel present for this delivery were an obstetrical resident and my co-worker. After delivery, the baby, who showed early signs of thriving, was merely wrapped in a blanket and kept in the labor and delivery department until she died 2.5 hours later. Something is very wrong with a legal system that says doctors are mandated to pronounce babies dead, but are not mandated to assess babies for life and chances of survival. In other words, our laws currently say that babies have no rights to medical oversight until they're dead. We look the other way and pretend these babies aren't human while they're alive, but human only after they're dead. We issue these babies both birth and death certificates, but it's really only the death certificate that matters. No other children in America are medically abandoned like this. The testimony then ends with Jill Stanek giving her opinion on abortion, that it is a cancer that is literally destroying America. I will not read that last part, as I've already read the most important parts of the testimony. Jill Stanek is not the only medical professional who has given such grim testimony. She's simply the most well-known. Thankfully, the barbaric practice she's described in her testimony has now been outlawed and will hopefully remain so. But far too many victims have been taken, and the politicians like Obama, who have helped make this abomination possible, must be held accountable and exposed for the depravity. That was excuse number 7 by Obama for opposing the Born Alive Infant Protection Act and my rebuttal to it, though Stanek gets more of the credit for this one, as she's the one who made the testimony. I simply read it. Excuse number 6 was another lie made at Benedictine University in October 2004. There were no documentation that hospitals were actually doing what was allegedly in testimony presented before me in the committee. In other words, all the doctors and nurses, including the ones whose testimony I just read to you, who witnessed newborn babies being purposely left to die in trash bins and soiled utility rooms without the proper medical care, are liars because their conclusions do not fit Obama's warped ideology. If that is really the case, then why hasn't Obama or anyone else attempted to press charges against them for perjury? Since this was a testimony given to a legislative body, it can reasonably be assumed that those giving their testimony did so under oath, which meant they could have been held legally responsible for any lies. The only reasonable explanation was that Obama knew they were telling the truth, but wanted to dismiss the truth he deemed as inconvenient. Excuse number 5 was made when Obama ran for the United States Senate in 2004. I'm sure many of you are familiar with the following quote by his opponent, Alan Keyes. Christ would not stand idly by while an infant child in that situation died. Christ would not vote for Barack Obama, because Obama has voted to behave in a way that it is inconceivable for Christ to have behaved. Thanks in large part to the clever spin job by Obama and the mainstream media going along with it like ignorant sheep, conventional wisdom says that this quote was used to attack Obama on his views on abortion as a whole, when it was really used to attack Obama's votes in the Illinois State Senate against the Born Alive Infant Protection Act. While I disagree with the sectarian manner in which Keyes criticized Obama, and I think that Keyes is nuttier than squirrel shit, that still doesn't change the fact that he was right and Obama was wrong. Excuse number 4. But my opponent's accusations nag me. If I'm opposed to abortion for religious reasons, but seek to pass the law banning the practice, I cannot simply point to the teachings of my church. I have to explain why abortion violates some principle that's accessible to people of all faiths, including those with no faith at all. In this quote, Obama not only conflates his support for letting newborn babies die with his pro-abortion advocacy as a whole, he also gives the fallacy that this clear violation of human rights is a sectarian religious issue, because not everyone believes that leaving newborn babies to die in soiled linen closets is murder, while conveniently ignoring that not everybody believed that lynching black people or throwing Jews into gas chambers was murder. Excuse number 3 was made in the same speech Obama made in the Benedictine University in 2004, I mentioned in Part 7. The bill was unnecessary in Illinois and was introduced for political reasons. Again, this goes back to something I said earlier. If this was really political, then why did even the most pro-abortion voices in the United States Congress support a similar bill, and why did NARAL not have a problem with either the Illinois State Senate version or the federal version of the bill? It simply doesn't make sense. Perhaps Obama should try looking in the mirror before accusing anyone of Machiavellian political maneuvering. That is all for Part 8 of Don't Vote for the Douche or the Turd. Stay tuned for Part 9, where I give my rebuttal to the last 2 of Obama's excuses for voting against the Born Alive Infant Protection Act and expose more of his radical pro-abortion voting record.